Amongst the creative directors still in Hollywood, there are a few we fall back on time and time again, as favorites who still create original and unique movies. They may not always get it right. Scorsese, Nolan, Tarantino are all directors whose general body of work we love, but have all produced their share of duds. With this year being such an eclectic hodgepodge of genuinely great and entertaining films scattered amongst the culmination of the most generic and poorly crafted garbage to come from Hollywood, it's that much sadder when such a creative director produces a film that's just not up to their usual standards. And so I feel it is the case with Wes Anderson's latest film, Asteroid City. With a large ensemble cast of returning actors and newcomers alike, as per the typical Wes Anderson film, Asteroid City is similarly to The French Dispatch, a narrative within a narrative. Taking the form of a play framed inside of a behind-the-scenes documentary showing the play's creation, the main narrative being the play focuses primarily on the character of Augie Steenbeck, a war photographer in the play's narrative, portrayed in the movie by Jason Schwartzman. His son Woodrow, played by Jake Ryan, Midge Campbell, a famous actress within the play's narrative, played by Scarlett Johansson, and her daughter Dinah, played by Grace Edwards. Each actor, however, fulfills two roles, that of their character in the play, and the actor who plays them in the narrative frame of the documentary. The rest of the film is filled out with unique and quirky characters inhabiting the 1950s site of a meteorite crash not far from an atomic bomb testing site. Asteroid City, from a production standpoint, is exactly everything I have come to love from Wes Anderson. It's quirky and uniquely from the start recognizable as a movie made by Wes Anderson, yet at the same time different from anything he's done before, in production design and cinematography at least. Fast-paced, even for an Anderson film, the movie never felt rushed, and at a runtime short of 2 hours, the film is short, but maintained my attention and never felt lacking for additional screen time. The cast delivers solid performances, with Schwartzman and Johansson both giving performances that sat just on the cusp of eliciting emotion that never quite hit me, though I felt that was more due to the film's story than their acting. Steve Carell, as a new player to Anderson's work, gives a performance both different and yet still complementing Anderson's typical style of humor. But knowing he came on as a replacement for Bill Murray, I couldn't help but imagine Murray delivering a much funnier, drier performance. Jeffrey Wright, who starred in The French Dispatch, returns, and while his dialogue I think sometimes failed the character, he stood out to me as someone I definitely hope continues working with Anderson. Overall, the elephant in the room, however, is Asteroid City's script. For all intents and purposes, Asteroid City, from production to performances, is exactly what you expect from Anderson. But where it lost me was the script. The narrative within a narrative is done well, but comes right after Anderson's last movie, The French Dispatch, which not only does something similar, but much more creatively. The story in Asteroid City is a look into not just the unknown, but into the meaning of why we are here, what our life's journey is about. This is highlighted differently in different characters, and sometimes the story and a character has something interesting to say on the matter, with a few scenes closer to the film's end involving Schwartzman's character in the documentary segment delivering perhaps the most well-crafted emotional pull of the movie. Ultimately, though, a lot of the story and themes ring hollow as the story falls back on the tried-and-true Hollywood trope of the journey is what matters most, and that meaning and fulfillment in life can never be truly found. What matters is ourselves and who we try to find fulfillment in life with. And while the movie is a bit more hopeful than how I've summarized it, that is basically what things boil down to. It's a bland cop-out Hollywood is constantly guilty of, and with the lack of truly inspiring and relatable characters, less than clever dialogue from Anderson, and a theme that's generic and pointless, Asteroid City just isn't Anderson's best or most creative endeavor. It certainly entertains, and is humorous and full of charm, but the charm wears thin once the story gets lost in its pessimism disguised as hope. It's worth a watch if you are a diehard Anderson fan, but it certainly won't be remembered amongst his greater films. I give Asteroid City 2.5 out of 4 stars.